imagine migrating here and like fucking, you turn around, you get over here, you have all these hopes and dreams about all this weed business going on. You hear all the stories how people make it. You find a farmer for the season, and he turns out to be a dirtbag.
How much land do you have?
He's got 740 acres. Well, he and my mom. Started with a 40 50 years ago, and a peat moss bog, and now it's 740 acres and a craft cannabis farm. The garden with some poppies here. A lot of power at night in the snow, but now he's totally off the grid. Everything's off the grid.
That is cool. That is really cool. As we were coming down here, he's telling me just all the different things. There's so much history here.
The thing about it too is people like Dan they've been in this whole industry one way or another from the very beginning. There's a lot of farmers like that, and now you've got like big capital coming in. And they just see the money, they just see the green rush. And
they're like,
you've got individuals that have just scrapped together a living and built a nice life for themselves and, you know, not greedy, give back to the community. Like you said, he helped build South Humboldt.
Right.
Doing this, selling dirt so the growers could grow.
Well, when I came here, nothing but trees and stumps right here, this whole area. I started with trees and stumps, and everything you see I either built or paid people to help me build it.
This was originally a soil plant where they were producing soil, helping, and you know, one of the claims here is that, you know, really Southern Humboldt soil for these farmers out here that made this possible was really founded right here. As we were walking up here, telling me this is kind of ground zero for processing.
Well, it is, you know, for that garden there. This is only 15,700. The other one's 31,500, and we got it hard to do at 12,000. You can only do an acre in TPP. So here's the provisional cannabis cultivation license, and here's the business license, Humboldt County right there. That took about 3 years to get. Wedding cake has a lot of sativa in it. It actually got about 6 feet taller than that.
What's these? Aha.
Look back there. There's 160 pots here. And we got about, we'll get 500 pounds out of this.
Okay, so that's the trellis right there. And you can see how much taller the plants went above it.
Got you.
They just consumed it.
Makes perfect sense.
And
Yeah,
that's
you gotta
the fence. See how tall that fence is?
Right.
That's 8 foot fence.
How far they went above the fence.
I had a pallet fence before that. 2015, the feds raided me and just wiped me out.
You know, they seem to have a fucking problem doing that.
Yeah.
They made that a point. We hit a real small farm, really lovely lady, Long Creek Ranch is the name of their farm, and she doesn't produce a whole bunch, but they were just getting up and going and doing well and doing it for the right reasons and the right way as a good family and stuff. And the feds came in and took down their whole thing, and it basically put them under for a hot second. So for her to even get through, she's eking through. But we're looking to help with the equity grant. Actually help get her some help in regards to that, and there's help out there in regards to that.
I had to borrow $150,000, put one of my properties up. I borrowed $150,000. I just paid it off about 3 weeks ago, that loan. So anyway, we put the twisters out there on those tables, but over here is where we, I can turn the lights on here. There's a little bit more light. So here's one of our tables that we do. I built a special table. The house, that's higher on that side, lower on this side. I usually have about 8 people there. So we use these conveyor belts. That's what we do. And we have 2 of them, and our production rate's about, in dried material, we can produce about 60 pounds a day. If we have 8 people trimming and running the equipment.
And that's dry material.
That's dried material, about 60 pounds a day.
How much are you doing in wet material a day?
Probably 250.
Damn.
300. And I spent about 6 months building drying racks with 4 other people.
Okay.
I milled the lumber myself from Wood Miser and put it on the jointer over there and straightened it all out in planers and made these drying racks. Oh, nice. And then made the units. So we can actually dry 300 pounds a week.
Yeah, so this is all really good stuff. I'm really excited to have seen just the beginnings of this. So,
well, let's go over and show them the drying room. The way this works is like this. You see, take the product after it comes off the twister, and we'll fill in these screens. And you put about half a pound on a screen. Put it in. We'll do as many as 60 a day. And if we had more people, we could do 100. Yeah. Okay. And then we just fill the racks up. D-hums and the wood pellet stove. And 10 inches of insulation around the building. And you can fill it up pretty quick.
Nice.
Strings on top, in case we decide to do that too. We put those in. Take a look at that stuff. That's Alaska Thunder.
Oh, that's so beautiful, guys.
It needs to be polished.
Yeah, it needs to be.
Understood.
But you can see the shapes of the buds and stuff. And we bought one of those near infrared spectrometers.
Right.
And you could just, within 10 minutes, you could test the total THC. And that stuff's been running at 29%.
No, I'm actually I'm stoked. And really, getting to learn about you guys is very impressive. You gotta understand, I've been to a lot of different farms, and so I went from the ones who make it clear to me that even though they're illegal, they're still the baddest outlaw motherfuckers all the way.
Well, yeah.
Right.
We all came out of that group.
But it's
you can take the farmer out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the farmer. Right?
Well, I you know what I tell everyone is we were outlaws way before we were in-laws.
Right.
So the truth is, we've been doing this for so long. It's like, look, hey, unless you're the Johnny Come Lately that came out and you're like, oh, I got this money, let me start up a huge company, invest in, it's gonna be cool, and I'm gonna throw naked women at it, and it's gonna, you know what I mean?
They're the ones that fail, though.
Right.
They're the ones that they get all caught up in the Mercedes and the jets and the helicopters. But at the end of the day, it's
a fake brand. It has no substance.
You're still just a farmer.
So
anyway, we have Tom's tumblers over there that we process stuff in, and then that's what it comes out. I just wanted to show you the quality of the bud.
Cool. That was beautiful. It smells amazing.
We can go to the other properties if you want to see those.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go ahead.
All right, cool.
Shut the door, turn the lights on.
I enjoy the compost tea. I enjoy what that does. So anything as we begin to talk, what I'll do with your family is, like I said, this will be a custom situation where we figure out and we just meld together and turn the dials.
Where are we off next?
Hannah's. Emerald Queen Farms.
Cool.
I'm gonna have somebody question me and my intentions, and I'm gonna tell them what they are. Take me to your leader. I want to go see the Emerald Queen. I'm here to see the Emerald Queen.
Yeah, I felt it, I heard it, it did the thing. I dislocated this knee before, so I was familiar with the sensation. I was like, well, hopefully it's just a little tear and I'll just, move around it, figure it out. And like 2.5 years later, I'm like, I can't run, I can't play.
So, how long ago Emerald Queen Farms? Like, what got you to here? I mean, obviously there's a journey.
Well, my husband and I have been living in Willow Creek for the last 10 years. And when we first moved up here, we were living in a tent. I was pregnant with my second son. We were building a cabin on the property, and it was just a sweet opportunity with, like, he's an old family in Willow Creek, and his vision was always like to get more young families to move to the area. He had different properties. People could produce a small amount of cannabis and be able to be within the letter of the 215 law. We were producing for patients back in those days, and all of that has changed so dramatically, and we were really grateful to have the opportunity to produce on this farm. This is an old homestead. This is Morton Ranch. It's on the map in Humboldt County. This is probably an old stagecoach passed through, like,
Right.
Incredible amount of history I think that this flat has seen, and it's always been in a homestead, agricultural,
I had crested the edge. I'd always smoked cannabis, but I crested the edge and really stayed away from the 215 a lot. Then I finally had created my first collective. And when we did that, I did it for my mom, actually. She had become disabled. And so we called it Ability Enterprises, enabling the disabled with natural relief. Ultimately, I foundationalized MedVets and brought it to full life. And then, as I was just getting my feet under me, Prop 64 happened. 98, 99, 97, 90 high percentage of my donations died.
Yeah. And
Right.
we've seen that time and time again through recreation being voted in by the voters, and the medical program just like disintegrating. It happened in Washington, and we all hope that it wouldn't happen here. And
How did you get in?
because the door is easy, it's fine.
He's all,
Lay down the bed.
hey, lay down.
There you go.
I'll put it there. Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, the dog is
Right.
I don't know
He's
if
all, I'm a med vet. He's all,
I don't know if I want that big old dog coming up and seeing me in his bed. Oh, you're a nice old guy. As we have more access and more belief from the rest of society, and as medical cannabis and recreational cannabis is being shown to be safe, society is believing more. And so we have more companies who are willing to take these risks and put that like scientific investment, time and money into it. And we're just seeing these incredible benefits of the cannabinoid profile that can be so quickly changed and manipulated by people using it who want, we need more THCV. We can like identify like what is working best for supporting TBI and PTSD for veterans. Like, what are these? Like, okay, it's not necessarily the THC content, but we really need like this high myrcene content so we can get through that like blood-brain barrier faster. Like, because we are at 2,800 feet, like we're stuck here in between the snow and the snow. in the sun. Like we only have so many hours that we can grow this plant in the sunshine, and it's like, this is God's light bulb. I don't need to plug anymore. And
that's what you do. So that's very interesting. So you are full spectrum sunlight is how it's gone. That's how you go.
Strictly.
Okay, so you're not a mixed light cultivation.
We're mixed light cultivation on the state side because they want to ding you because you're going to spend your extra long days in the spring pulling tarps on your plants, which I call light deprivation, not mixed light.
Cool.
But they're not cultivators, the guys who make the rules. So hopefully that changes. We're looking at the BCC and CDPH and CDFA all melding together into one cow cannabis that's going to oversee all of the different areas.
You mean the
and
left
license
hand and the
types.
right hand are going to come together and still not know what they're doing?
Yeah, so I think there's opportunity now for us to see, like, what are the things that we want to have fixed in this system. Like, there's probably a great deal of things that the BCC does great that CDFA doesn't do, and there's a great deal of things that CDFA does for farmers that BCC probably doesn't know left from right on, because they're handling manufacturing and distribution, not handling plant cultivation, you know? So it's a lot of different things. I can see that where the streamlined capacity can happen, and I hope that we do have a little bit more clarity through all the conversations between all the different licenses and regulating agencies. And
I think it'll help everybody.
We can reduce the cost that goes into it. Maybe we can reduce the cost of licensing, or
well, yeah, I mean, you got to
shift
think
the burden of taxation off of cultivators. Or
I've always loved the flavor of cannabis. I've always loved fresh, properly cured cannabis, because you can grow it really well and cure it really horribly.
you can ruin it.
You can ruin it just as quick on the end zone as you did on the whole year you just spent making it good. And so one of the things was that I had one of my many hats and lives I did is I had a distribution license for high-end cigars.
Cool.
This is where I learned about Boveda, right? Which I was calling Boveda forever. So, you know, like, I'm like, hey, Boveda, right? I'm trying to get them to help me out here. I'm like, telling them, like, hey.
They're like, listen to our YouTube commercials.
How did you get involved in this?
Well, because I am a member of the Humboldt County Growers Alliance, and Ryan had come and spoke on one of our industry affairs calls. He's a Boveda rep, and I've met him a number of times at different community functions where they're great supporters of the Humboldt County Growers Alliance as a allied industry business in the industry. And yeah, he gave a presentation on it, and I just really resonated with the mission of getting fresh medicine to the people who need it.
So it's a lot this year that's happened where everybody else kind of hunkered down 2020. I'll be honest. We've been blessed. We've been grabbing gears and making things happen, because I'm like, printed a badge that essential, and I remained essential. It's like, you know, and so that's what I do. I go, we've been going, and what I told everyone on the team is, I'm like, look, it's not about this one donation. To me, it's not about donations. I say it all the time. MedVets isn't about donations. We're about enlistments. When families subscribe to the idea that they go, we believe in MedVets, we're MedVets. I say that what we do is called community threading. And it's the idea that everybody, if you weave threads together, can create a tapestry. The fabric of a tapestry is built by diversity and community. 100%. And, you know, so from the 2-year-old lady, or the 2-year-old child, to the 90-year-old lady, who I had a 90-year-old lady tell me, I'll make you a quilt. She goes, I don't like your weed. She goes, well, I'll make you a quilt. So I'll take your quilt, old lady, and I will sell that son of a bitch at a raffle, and I'll make it work out.
And we'll get some weed to someone who likes it.
And okay, so underprivileged people who need access, like your friends, we can donate to them. Okay? What I did is as I looked at it with MedVets, is I said, well, the first place I'm going to start by taking care of our veterans. I'm going to make sure. And what I'm not going to do is do it like a pop-up party, where if you get the news that you're one of the first 50 that show up there, then you get a package and grand hurrah and everybody.
Nowadays, you got to go through some kind of an approval thing. You just got to get to know people.
Well,
because I know a lot of them have given up now. I mean, they really are. They're just so deep now into alcoholism mostly. I've lost like 4 in the last year because they went out into the woods. One of them in Santa Barbara went up into the hills and literally drank himself to death. You know, and this is because he gave up. Everything was just, there wasn't anybody giving anything anymore. The cops all knew him. And so why are they bothering him?
Oh yeah.
So don't worry about the top cap label right now. We're just having some issues with the printing, but we're fixing that.
Ready to go. 32 jars. That's fast.
32 jars.
Look at that.
The other great thing is that having these guys in here. So you and I are going to have to sit down and go through specifically and create an initial rough draft program we want to run.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, what is he trying to do?